Was that still on there?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First on is consent agenda approval of the September 13, 2021 minutes. Approval utility account refunds in the amount of $194.70. Approval payment to J&B Construction LLC for Sioux Avenue Concrete in the amount of $74,353.13. Approval payment to CMT for professional services on the replacement runway 17-35. Edge lighting in the amount of $3,000. Approval of municipal judge's report for August 2021. Is there a motion we approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda as written.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and second. Any other comments? No comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. We're moving 4-H group up to now. Tish.
Okay, National 4-H Week proclamation. Whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, having supported almost 6 million youth across the country thus far. And whereas 4-H has helped 165 youth in Brown County to become confident, independent, resilient, and compassionate leaders. And whereas 4-H is delivered by Cooperative Extension, a community of more than 100 public universities across the nation that provide experiences where young people learn by doing hands-on projects in areas including health, science, agriculture, and citizenship. And whereas the National 4-H Week showcases the incredible experiences that 4-H offers young people and highlights the remarkable 4-H youth in Brown County who work each day to make a positive impact on those around them. And whereas 4-Hers network of 600,000 volunteers and 3,500 professionals provides caring and supportive mentoring to all 4-Hers, helping them to grow into true leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Now, therefore, Mayor William Collins does hereby proclaim October 3 through 9, 2001 as National 4-H Week throughout the city of Hiawatha, Brown County, Kansas, and encourages all of our citizens to recognize 4-H for their significant impact that it has made and continues to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime.
Thank you, Tish. Yeah, you want to bring them up and back?
Do you guys want to walk up and get a picture? There we go. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you so much.
Quit changing those. Oh, yeah.
Next thing, a regular agenda and public comment petition memorial. We've got a thank you letter from Janet Alaska, the library down there, and she wanted to thank us for the planner that we sent. And so next, Christina Romine. I'm gonna give up the podium there.
Hello. I am just here to request use of the walking trail for a 5K to benefit juvenile diabetes research. We have quite a few kiddos in our town, in our county that are affected by diabetes. So Jennifer Pyle and Jessica Chartier and myself have been planning this event to kind of show support and fund juvenile diabetes research. And so we would just like to use the trail. We don't need any barricades or anything like that. We've got some high school football kiddos and cheerleaders that are going to help with just the one street crossing and like directing people. So we're not asking for anything but use of the trail.
What date?
October 9th.
October 9th. Would just be a motion to, let's see, how do we word what group?
What's the time?
2:00.
2:00.
Allow the, motion to allow the walking trail to be used for a 5K on October, you just said 9th.
At 2.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Could be it.
Just
Could do
a
it.
second.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Go ahead and approve the October the 9th at 2:00 for the diabetes walk. And sounds like you girls gonna do all the work, so.
Yeah, actually, we've done quite a
Okay.
bit. I think we have like 70 people signed up. We've raised over $3,000. So
The only thing I might want to put out there is you might want to get the approval before you start advertising it.
well, so I was kind of confused on I thought basically that when I sent in the paperwork that I was just coming to tell you guys about it since I wasn't asking for help. So I know now in the future not to do anything until
Yeah, it's, I mean, I would have hated that. What if something had been going on and we were like, oh, you can't, then we all feel bad and you feel bad and it's just
Yeah.
awkward. So it might be,
definitely
you'll
will
know that for
do.
next year. So
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right. Thank you guys.
But
We'll have to vote. though.
vote.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thanks for coming in. Next thing, Amanda and Richard Davison Jr. is the speaker here for them. Go ahead, come up to the podium.
Our house is on the chopping block and we know this. We've been trying for the last year. I'm working 50, 60 hours a week. He's in a wheelchair and there's not a whole lot that he can do, but we are trying the best we can. He was out there today. He ended up going to the emergency room with a sprained ankle because he fell out of his wheelchair. We just need to know what all we need to do to change it. We've cleaned, we know that we can't do much with the asbestos siding right now, but he's trying his hardest to get it where he's covered the holes, he's fixed the windows that they said they were broken. I don't know what else we can do. We just need more time to get it to where we can get back into it as up to code.
Well, we've been addressing this for quite some time.
I understand that.
And it wasn't like it just started yesterday. It's so I guess I guess I don't know what to say. I mean, the house is not in good shape. It needs a tremendous amount of work done. I see the siding's falling off, and there's no way you can fix it too quick. I guess I don't know. I just if we give you a 30-day extension, that wouldn't correct the problem. You couldn't get nothing done in 30 days.
But right now, we don't, even if you give us 30 days, we don't know where we can go in 30 days. We don't have that kind of money to even go find a new place to live. The house is paid for. It's completely paid for.
Can I say something? Sorry.
Come on, Nancy.
I'm the sister-in-law, and we all just took possession of this house this year. Got it out of Richard and Mana's name. They both passed away. So we're kind of at your mercy. I mean, Bob and I live 45 minutes away. You know, we have our own bills, our own things to take care of. We just have not had the time to come up to help to do anything.
Well, I'm sympathetic on that side, but it's been about a year or so ago. I talked to him about relocating up to the housing on Iowa Street, which is nice housing, and it go with your income. And so, I mean, it would have been a place for him to have been relocated, but now, and I guess, I don't know, I'm gonna ask Dave Wilson to come up, and he's a code enforcement guy, and see, Dave, what do you got on your mind? It can't be corrected in a year. You don't have the finances to do it. So.
There's been an extensive period of time in which we're given opportunities to make corrections. There's been no, that I'm aware of, building permits to make the corrections that need to be done.
But nobody's given us any direction of what we need to do. I mean, Bob and I even got a lawyer, and I mean, she didn't even get anywhere with anybody but permission for me to speak to somebody. And I would call and leave messages and never get a return phone call back. So all I was looking for was direction as to what we needed to do to start a process, and never got that direction.
There was a letter sent out last fall that listed in more detail.
Where was that letter sent to? If
It
it was
was-
sent to Rick and Amanda, it wasn't sent to the rest of the kids. Like I said, we just got possession of this
Right,
property
at that
this
time,
year.
it was still in, is it Richard Senior and
Right,
Mana's
that is
name? So
correct.
we sent it to them, even knowing, we sent it to them and to Richard and Amanda, and it was signed for, if I remember right, by all the letters, I think were signed for by you, Amanda.
No, because 9 out of 10 times, I'm never home. I'm always at work.
Well, I can produce the green cards that
Well,
come back with certified
that's
mail,
fine, but I'm
it
talking from
listed.
here on out. I mean, I have called and called and called and left messages and never got a phone call back after I got permission to speak to somebody. I was told by Mr. Wilson on the phone that I couldn't talk to him because I had a lawyer. So, you know, after I made that comment, you know, he said, I can no longer talk to you. Your lawyer will have to contact us. She did do that. And it took her forever to get a phone call back. And so I think it's a two-way street here, maybe. I'm just looking for direction on, yeah, sure, you want to tear the house down? What is your purpose of tearing it down? Do you think that you're going to get the lot?
We won't own, no, the city won't own it. You all still retain ownership.
Well, we were told that if we didn't pay the demolition cost of you guys condemning the house and dimming it, then you guys got our lot.
No,
No.
no,
That's
that's not
not
how it
But
works.
still, we have to come, if we can't come up with the money to pay for new siding and stuff like that on a whim, how are we gonna come up with the money to pay for demolition?
This started a year ago in September, I believe, Dave. With the first, and I'll kind of bring you up to speed. The first letter that went out was, the house is in violation of minimum housing codes. I think, was this a minimum? Yes. So you need to set up, an informal meeting with the code enforcement officer to develop a plan. So that letter went out. I don't remember. I don't know if there was a meeting or not. I'd have to get my records. I didn't bring
I
them
didn't
up.
have a meeting.
Okay.
I think there was a telephone call. in which some of the questions had to do with what do I do to my property? And it's not my work product to determine what you need to do there. Most of the things that need to be done are visual. I've not been on the inside. I'm sure others would like to see what it looks like on the inside. Are you open to having that done?
But I mean, are you condemning it for just because there's siding issues and windows not being replaced?
These folks up here are the ones that are in charge of it. I am the code enforcement officer.
But are you
crafted
not
the
the one
letters.
that come back and told them that we are in violation?
I don't understand.
I mean,
It's-
did you go out to the house and physically look at it and say that, you know, we are in violation?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And
I'll
it's
take credit for
just
that.
for
Yeah.
siding missing and the windows, a couple windows being broken?
Very derelict conditions. It's blighting to the neighborhood. It's dangerous. It was,
How is it dangerous? It
and-
is
and as
very
a-
livable. It is very livable on the inside. The basement is good on it. So that's what I don't understand. I
Well,
mean,
that's,
I've drove around this city and I see far worse houses than what this property looks like.
actually, you've done something, you've done a little bit of work down there, because actually there was junk all over the yard.
Yes,
And
and I
there's still
understand
junk
that.
there
And
yet.
we have,
We're
Yeah,
working
we're
on it
s-
as, I mean, like I said.
I mean, I didn't like it squeaky clean down there, because it's not. I mean, it's way out of code. And I mean, it just, I don't know. I wouldn't own that.
I mean, are you just saying because it's an eyesore? Is that what you're saying? I mean, because we were told that it was being condemned so you could build low-income housing.
I don't know who tells you that stuff, but that didn't come from this commission. So the only thing we
mean, it's-
do,
It's very frustrating for us.
So I guess my question is if we even did give you 30 more days, I mean, what would that look like then? Because this has been over an extensive period of time, and so I'm just wondering what could we see
Well,
happen?
Are we, hold on, are we planning on, like, is this plan on happening like in the next couple of weeks or? Because we have a lot of other houses that we can be talking about. I don't see that, you know,
we've got
we
one,
push them to the back of the list again. Like I said, once again, anybody that's willing to try to improve a property, I think we should keep giving them the opportunity to do that. As I drive by the house, I live on that street. I honestly don't think it's that bad. That's my opinion. I've had several rental houses in this town. I don't want to see it removed. And as long as you guys are still trying to clean up the lot and everything, I say there's no reason why we can't move this people clear to the back of the list, give them as much time as possible and do whatever we can. I mean, I'm just not interested in removing people from their house at this point, if this is all they have and they're legitimately trying.
I work 40+ hours a week. She's working 50, 60. They both work 40+ hours a week.
And we've been pulling off some of the siding off of the front porch. Found out it's got a beautiful wood siding underneath of it that, you know, we could probably paint that, clean it up and be done.
Rick is pulling some of the siding off of the basement thingy
Mhm.
to put where the broken siding is on the side of the house. We're trying, he's trying, he's doing the best he can considering he has very little use of his hands. Even less use of his legs right now.
Yeah, sprained ankle.
So, I mean, we're trying.
So do you guys know exactly, do you feel that you know exactly what the city wants done to bring it up to code?
Well, part of it, but.
Is it just the siding then? Is that what we're looking at?
There was-
I didn't
there was-
understand.
Is it just the siding that we're looking at to bring them up to
No, it's a
code?
comprehensive structure. When you, some of it's visual. There are siding issues. There's doorways, stairways, ramps, window casings.
Gutters, if I remember right, there was in the order last year, there's kind of a, I don't want to say a detailed description, but a description.
So, I mean, I guess if they're not for sure and it's sold, I think we should update this list. Bring it to them, make sure they know exactly what we're looking at, what you're in violation of. And then let's come back in a month or two and let's readdress it.
I have Wednesday and Thursday out. I'll come to town, we'll haul it. We've got a trailer that's full of trash. Yes, it needs to be hauled off. I'll get it hauled off on my dime, on my money, or on my days off. I'm doing we're doing what we can.
Well, and we've always said, as long as we're seeing progress,
So.
but I want to make sure it's clear that this progress needs to continue moving forward. If it's like, okay, well, they put us back on a list, we got some wait time, that can't be it. Because then too many people may ask for that. And so I mean, I'm kind of with Commissioner Sheffer, as long as we're seeing steps moving forward, and as long as it's not a huge danger, like we have other houses that are just big gaping holes that are a safety issue, then that's a little bit different. I have to admit, I'd have to drive by 311 again. I can't remember 310.
Well, I guess what we're doing is, we did move them back, and we put other houses in front of them. And that's after your request last meeting, and we stalled this. And I'd say, as far as I'm concerned, we give them an extension for 30 days and see what kind of work's being done. I guess that's as good as.
And then as far as what we need to do, can we?
We can get you that letter again that was mailed
Give
out,
that
that was signed
letter.
for, and then you can have that again.
Yeah,
That should be clear
because-
enough.
That'll give us a lot better idea of what we need to do and what, you know.
Yeah.
And where we need to start. That's all we were asking for when I got a lawyer.
So.
Yeah, October 20th.
Well, I think just to see what you can get done in 30 days and bring it back to the commission. And
You said
we've already.
25th.
October 25th would be our next meeting then, okay, for 30 days.
We need a
Looking forward to that.
motion.
Don't put it past me, I'm not worried.
Could we get a motion just for an extension to October 25th?
Yeah, I'd even make the motion to give them a 30-day extension until the next meeting.
October 25th, so it'll be the
Yeah.
second.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, Brenda.
I've got an update on Bethel African Methodist located at 400 Potawatomi Street. I've heard from Chestine Allen. She lives in Illinois. She's a granddaughter of Reverend Thomas Walthall, one of Bethel's founders. She wants the church to be saved and preserved. Called the owner of 400 Potawatomi, Robert Witt, and he is ready to sign over the property as soon as possible. Spoke to Bethel AME neighbors and was told about the drug activity at the structure and also its shelter for the homeless. I called Sheriff John Merchant about the drug activity at 400 Potawatomi. He asked for the owner's name and phone numbers to ask for law enforcement access to the property and if the owner would put up no trespassing signs on the structure. And I received a call from Lynn Allen, Brown County Historical Society Museum downtown. Lynn asked for the physical address of Bethel AMA and for the Brown County Historical Society president and VP assessments of the property.
I guess at the last meeting, I told Dave to work with you, so I guess you and Dave's been working together on the structure. It's a lot of work.
Yes, yes, it is. It
Yeah, so,
is.
I mean, as long as you know what you're getting into.
Sure,
mean,
sure.
But,
Well, there was one neighbor who said, well, it might make a pretty good garage. So he might want it for a garage if the Brown County Historical Society decides not to do anything with it.
So I guess you're negotiating with WIT now to purchase the property?
I'm not able to as a sole property owner, so I'm looking for an entity to take it over,
So you're,
or that neighbor who wants a garage.
oh, I see. All right. Where you at, Dave?
Just one thing that comes to my mind is that the current owner of the property may be willing to turn it over, but there could be back taxes and mortgages and that kind of thing against the property. So that I don't think I'm in the capacity to remedy those issues, and it probably should be addressed by someone who works in that arena to make sure the property can be transferred and then who is it deeded to and that kind of thing. It is in bad physical condition. The roof is not shedding water correctly. So there are measures that would probably need to be done just to preserve the structure. So we don't want to ignore all those things. And it'd be great to have it turned over to some private entity to be able to restore the property. I'm all for that. But I think we just need to watch out that the gift may be have more connections to
More
indebtedness.
expensive, yeah.
But
So-
have you been inside? Do you feel like it can be saved or not?
I've not been inside. It has had a long term of absence of water use. There has not been water supplied to it, so plumbing systems are inoperable, and I know it's been habitated for a period of time without water. So I'm curious as to what the facilities look like and that kind of thing. And the owner would have the ability to allow us to look on the inside and maybe prospective owners. So
Does that still have stained glass windows and stuff in it or not? I don't know if they're broke out or not.
No, they're not broke down.
I guess just one thought is if it's not salvageable, it'd be maybe really cool before we tore it down to remove all the stained glass windows, and maybe we could do something with those, whether it's at the museum.
And
That's just an idea, thinking outside the box. If it can't be saved, I think we could hopefully be able to get someone in there and salvage that stuff, which I think would be cool, at least. Just a thought, though. I don't.
And I think that's always the case with all the properties that are demolished, is the right to salvage. The owner has the right to do that. So.
Well, I guess who's going to do the work to see what you say, a historical society or one of the neighbors?
Well, if the Historical Society doesn't want the property, the structure, as I said, there was a neighbor who had some interest into the structure for a garage, or whether he would really want it or he was just saying.
Well, I think it needs some investigation to see how much taxes and how much liability they're jumping into, I think it's pretty important that you don't jump into anything that's gonna cost you a fortune.
No, I
Because
wouldn't
these
think so.
guys got a pretty good habit of turning over property and to people and just to get out from underneath of it. And it's been going south on them for quite a while, so it's I'm not comfortable with them until I guess a little bit more research is done. And if you guys want to take the property over and you got somebody that wants to, just contact Dave, and I'm sure he'd, if they can convince him and they want to pay all the expenses, and I'm sure he's not interested in tearing properties down either. So, but he's interested in making sure the property's kept up to
Sure, and the
Code.
names are considered about all the drug activity. Wednesdays and Sundays nights, Wednesday night and Sunday night,
Okay.
For,
drug activity in the
oh,
church.
recent.
I don't know how long it's been going on, but some names were, yeah, so I don't know how long there's been drug activity going on there, but it is going on. They said Wednesday night and Sunday night. I don't know if it's every Wednesday, every Sunday, but those.
Is
are
it
the
by
two.
invitation?
It might be. It might be by invitation. They seem to know some names were thrown out, so they seem to know who's doing it. But they haven't called the police, but I did.
Well, we know there's drug activity in Hiawatha. I mean, we just,
I'll work with Brenda to see if we can get a link with somebody that can help transfer property ownership if the owner is willing to do that. And then it's not going to change the status of the structure. And if we can come up with a remedy for that, why, I don't.
well,
I don't see
you
a
guys
problem.
work together. I don't have a problem. We can bring it back to next meeting as far as I'm concerned. So it's fine. You want to work with her
Okay,
and see what you can get done.
all right, thank you.
God help you. That's all I can say.
Thank you. And also, Coach
Okay.
McClendon,
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach McClendon. Coach McClendon. Okay, since there's no money in the said city budget 2022 for two deteriorating Coach McClendon signs, I am willing to raise money. Per Don Cashman, tax deductible Coach McClendon City of Hiawatha maintenance account should be set up for money raised. Fulbright Sign and Lighting, Lawrence, Kansas, created the Coach McClendon signs. And the cost of the two signs is $1,045.21 each. If the city workers pick up and install the signs. If the city workers do not pick up and install the two signs, the cost is $1,757.71 for each sign. According to Fulbright, the prices are fluctuating. So, when the money is raised, the amount might be different. Don Cashman suggested that there be a written agreement between the city of Hiawatha and me, the fundraiser, regarding the Coach McClendon maintenance tax deductible account and the use of city workers for the pickup and installation of the two new signs.
I think me and you and Tish talked before about donations and stuff, and I guess just getting the preliminary work, drawing the draft of what kind of language you want in it, and so she can go ahead and start fundraising.
We have to get with Andy
Yeah.
as far as drawing up an agreement for the establishment of such,
Yeah.
and then bring
Mr.
it,
Delaney?
yeah, and then bring it back to the commission for approval. That would do it all.
Will Mr. Delaney have time?
Yes,
Speak to me. Will he have
We'll make-
time? I
we'll
know he's
make-
busy. He's busy.
we'll make sure.
Okay,
Yep,
that'll work.
I've
Yeah,
got,
we
I've got
can-
notes.
We'll work that out.
Thank you.
Didn't
Mhm.
Mr. Abeta help with that? He kind of took that on, didn't he?
That was, you mean with the.
With the sign and
McClendon?
the-
Yes, he
yeah.
did. And 5 young girls.
Might want to reach out to him again and
Hey.
say, Abeta, we need you.
I already did.
Okay.
Wearing the,
Kevin
wearing
Hill.
the t-shirt. Yes, they were 5 middle school girls.
That now graduated from college.
Really?
And some are married.
Has it
Yes,
been that
yes,
long? Holy
yes.
cow.
And so we should remember those 5 middle school girls who are now grown.
Yeah.
They gave the city of Hiawatha and all of it, not just the Black community, all of us. They gave all of us the McClendon signs. So I'm very passionate about his memory and what he did for basketball. I love basketball. He's the forgotten Jayhawk. So he is but he's gotten a lot of praise and just got a Theodore Roosevelt Award just this year. So he's still relevant to basketball. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay, next on the agenda is Sarah Clapper with Chamber.
I'm here to just ask about roadblocks for the Halloween parade, and I gave Chief DeFore a map, and I gave one to Tish also. If you'd each like one, I brought one for you, but just to ask to have those roadblocks put up for the evening parade and the afternoon parade. And we will have volunteers to be stationed at every roadblock that they won't be moved unless there's an emergency vehicle that needs through, and then they'll help move those out of the way. But otherwise, they'll be there to make sure no one's messing with them and right in front of them, right? So emergency, right. Yeah. So that's basically what we need for the parade, is to have the roadblocks put up.
I think it's a good idea. So, I mean, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we give permission with the roadblocks as presented for the Halloween parade.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Thank you.
Also, we wanted to say thank you for all the support for the Maple Leaf Festival that was this past weekend. It was a big success. We had a lot of people in town.
I
So
heard it was fabulous. I'm
the weather
disappointed
was
we were in
perfect. You could not have had a better day weather-wise, and
I think
nice
you guys
crowd.
done an outstanding
Yeah,
job.
it's
It
very-
was-
I
Really?
tell everybody, Ryan Meininger gets all the credit. He's the chairman of the event, and he gets a lot of the entertainment. Well, Joey May gets the entertainment. He gets all of the inflatables and the food trucks, and
We
Yeah,
got a lot
so-
of kids in town.
yeah.
A lot of them.
So, okay, thank you so much.
You
It's always
bet.
set the bar high now because you have
I
to get better every
Yeah.
year. So
Next thing is proclamation for Fire Prevention Week.
Okay, whereas the city of Hiawatha, Kansas is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Hiawatha. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern for both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,770 people in the United States in 2019, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And fire departments in the United States responded to 339,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to the danger and event of fire in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. Whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas Hiawatha residents should be sure everyone in the home understands the sounds of the fire alarm and knows how to respond. And whereas Hiawatha residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas Hiawatha residents will make sure their smoke and CO alarms meet the needs of all their family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. And whereas Hiawatha first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas Hiawatha residents are responsive to public education measures, are better able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fires, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2021 Fire Prevention Week theme, Learn the Sound of Fire Safety, effectively serves to remind us all that it is important to learn the different sounds of smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Now therefore, William Collins, Mayor of Hiawatha, does hereby proclaim October 3 through 9, 2021 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the city. And he urges all people of Hiawatha to install smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside each sleeping area, and on every level of the home, including the basement, and to support the many public fire safety activities efforts of the Hiawatha Fire and Emergency Services during Fire Prevention Week 2021.
Thank you, Tish. I run out of air before I got that far.
Yeah. I'll leave that.
Okay, we got a we got a year of service award for Paul Schaefer here on the desk, and I guess he didn't attend, so would you get a hold of the fire chief and have him go ahead and at their next fire call and submit this to Paul and tell him we appreciate all his services. So thank you. Okay, next thing, executive session for non-elected personnel matters. And with John DeFore, Brad Scott, Mike Nichols, and commission for 12 minutes. Is there a motion we go into executive session for 12?
I will make the motion that the city commission recess into executive session in the conference room to discuss matters regarding an issue of potential city personnel. The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The open meeting will resume at 6:27 PM in the commission chambers and to include city commission, John Ford, Brad Scott, and Mike Nichols.
Second.
Motion been made and second. No other comments, we'll vote.
Aye.
Motion carried.
sounds good, right? And you can get the granddaughter. Sure about it. I'm sure it's probably just with, yeah. It wasn't on tax. Yeah, 'cause it's true. So.
Oh, she sold it to.
No, the church conference, so it's with. There were some hits, yes, because I know that name from that from my church. No. Yes, and I just- Yeah. Maybe some people, black people. Which knows that it's that church. So, yeah, I know. If you could get inside to try.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We can't do that. But
Just the commission for one commission. But she won't be on. Just. See what long boards.
Sure.
That means. Well. How more. Sure, yeah. It would take a lot. You know,
No, all of that was cleared out. All of those. I didn't like it. I don't think so. And what looks like me, I'm staying last, it's just like some kind of. Over the, yeah, over the window, yeah. Because I noticed some of the code was still. But no, they're not. I thought, yeah, because I saw the paperwork. And I thought, well, that's good too.
There's no. And.
And then you had to leave. Like running out.
You're gonna take my spot, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was busy talking. I just want to switch it up. Who was that? Shepherd?
Their motion come in,
You got the.
Make a motion to come back in.
I'll second.
You're supposed to
motion
read the
been
whole
made,
thing.
and second, come back in. Roll
I
call.
decide.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I told them to read it and they would not. You want me to do it the right way?
There.
There was no binding. Do you seriously want me to read it?
No.
Okay. There was no binding action during executive session.
Next thing. Consider approval. Soliciting an application for part-time for the police department.
Yeah, that. I would stand for any questions. If there's any part-time clerk questions, I'm happy to answer whatever you may have. It's not that we're gonna completely get rid of our part-time lady. She's just gonna kind of like we were talking, she's gonna get pushed back to the wings. She only wants to work if the part-timer can't. So we don't anticipate using much, but we certainly wanted to have her available. She's given a large portion of her life to the city.
I think she'd work 2 or 3 hours a day. She'd be happy. So,
And there you go. You're right. Yeah,
so we definitely need somebody. So
and I appreciate that.
Good.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve soliciting applications for part-time clerk for the police department.
Sure, second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I was approached last week or week before by the high school. We try to get on this because for a couple of years, they kind of forgot. So last minute, we're trying to help them get going. But we've really kind of got it down now, I think, where we all make sure that we get to the commission prior to the parade. So I've talked to the folks at the high school. They're ready and they want to run the same route. And I think we did put a copy of that in your packets, but they pick us up at the high school. We will block for them at First and Oregon. They will turn right, go to Miami. We'll block at Miami and First, getting them around the corner. They're going to go to the first stop, which will be the middle or the grade school, probably 15 minutes-ish. Then they will turn and go to get around on the front. They'll come right up here and go in the front of the square. And of course, like they do every year, they do a stop there and they do their deal, their show there. And then they're going to push on out. And they wanted to go back to Iowa. We'll get somebody on Iowa at 7th here to help kind of get them around. And it's actually going to be in 6th. They've got it coming around different. But then we'll help them get back down, cross Morrill and over, and they're done. It's the exact same route we did last year, only we've turned it around. And this will be the new steady route. And I would just look for approval for the high school to utilize the city streets and the police department for rolling blocks to get this done.
So I'll make a motion to approve the HHS homecoming parade route on Friday, October 1st, 2021 at approximately 1:15 and to utilize the rolling blocks and such as needed.
Question.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Next thing. Next thing, consider awarding a bid for construction of a electric vault and rotation beacon at the Hiawatha Airport.
Last Thursday, the 23rd, bids were open for like the electrical vault and rotating beacon. If you'll recall, the rotating beacon was an additive alternate based on how other bid prices have been looking for other projects. We received 2 bids. Unfortunately, we did not have enough for, to recommend awarding the base bid, which is the electrical vault, and alternate, which was a rotating beacon. Only, we only feel comfortable recommending the base bid at this time. The project from KDOT, I have that, is 150, of which 10% is the city's responsibility. So we were expecting, worst case, $15,000. As it turns out with the base bid, with the base bid, our share of the base bid and the engineering, it would be $13,920. The state would cover $1,025, 280. So based on that, the engineer and myself recommend awarding the bid for KDOT project number AV 2022-10 to Atlas Electric LLC for the base bid only in the amount of $123,200, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign the necessary documents.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried. Next thing, John, do you have anything else? Okay. Fish?
I have two things.
Okay.
Lynette and I are both going to be in training the first Monday meeting date in November. So I believe that either myself or Lynette needs to be in attendance at a meeting. So we're thinking that maybe we should change it to the first Monday in November, the meeting.
October.
No,
November. Sorry.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I keep saying October.
Yeah, I talked to Tish about this, and I'm a little bit skeptical about him running the meeting over Zoom in case we lose one of them. And I told him that probably to reschedule a meeting would be a little more safe. And I think just rescheduling that meeting is not a big issue. Sometimes we lose somebody. I just think they'd be sitting there. So I think it's a good idea is to reschedule meetings and
November 1st,
first.
the week prior.
Yeah.
As opposed to just in like Tuesday, or when are you in training?
I'm in training through Thursday.
Yeah,
Okay,
and they're out of town.
They're out of town, so.
Well, Monday's sounding pretty good.
Or anytime through that first week.
Right.
So you need a motion to move
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we move the November 8th meeting to November 1st
At 5:35.
at 5:35.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
And the second thing, we had brought forward information about the business licenses and changes and things like that. I am still doing research. It has been a very crazy week, so I beg forgiveness. I don't have the information yet for this meeting, so I will try to get it put together for the next meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's all I have.
Andy's not here, Mike.
Just, yeah, it's a few things. In regards to the interest in the city property on Lodge Road, we don't have a contract ready. As I mentioned in my report, the interested party has proposed, instead of buying the land for the price of a tube, buying a tube and providing it in exchange for the land. Kind of 6 to 1, half dozen to another. But I just wanted to kind of run that through and see if there were any concerns before, it came in contract form.
Was there a
With that.
standard for the tube that we?
It'd be a 40 foot by 4
And there's like all the same quality. There's not cheap. I don't know. I've never bought a drainage tube.
No, I think what they're looking at is maybe being able to find one cheaper was their thought versus our new price. And
As long as it's good quality.
I mean, it's,
yeah,
it's
it's
nothing we're gonna use anyway.
It's their road, right?
right. Part of the road would be vacated. So
Oh,
it's
so-
going to be,
Okay.
it's really just a driveway at that point. And quite frankly, if it's not provided, it's not installed, we're not installing it and all that.
It's on them.
But it is a change from previous conversation, so I wanted to mention that. But if there's no concern, we'll continue on and bring something back. Next thing I have, I was contacted today that a group of students have made a push to have fireworks at the homecoming game Friday night. One of our firemen has volunteered to set them off personally on their own time. They're not commercial fireworks, they're over the counter ones, so they don't require a license. But we have an ordinance against fireworks. I spoke with USD 415 today. They said at this point, they have no concerns or no reason for it not to happen. As I understand, it would be, some would be shot off to open the game. Some would be shot off, say, when we score, and then at the end of the game. But it would take a motion to allow USD 415 to have fireworks for the 2021 homecoming football game.
They're okay with that.
They're carrying that under their blanket.
Yes.
The insurance.
That
so
surprises
we
me.
know
What was
I think they
relayed to
used
me
to do it.
today was,
Yeah, I think so. I think they did in high school.
I said,
One
I
firework
heard it
trips
used to be
over.
done. It used
Yeah,
to
I
be
think they
done.
used to fire them at touchdowns.
My latest, I said, just checking to see if you heard anything on the fireworks. And I was told, as far as I know, okay. So
I guess
I would
that-
say if for some reason the school district says no, then it's not gonna happen.
But I think the school already agreed, didn't it? Tentatively,
Yeah,
well, I guess. the
I
only
mean,
thing we
they
have-
have the ultimate say, but but if they do say okay, it would take, without action from the commission,
Yeah,
it could not happen.
I'd entertain a motion to go ahead and approve the fireworks at the,
I'll make that motion.
Homecoming football game.
do a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, will vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
Next thing I have, I found out, well, got an email. I was out Friday. We've talked in the past about going under consent for the sewer because of our bypasses and water treatment. And the benefit of such being, this is consent with KDHE. The benefit is, one, lower interest rate with KDHE, with USDA. They call it the poverty rate, but it's the lowest interest rate they have. And it qualifies us for more grant with USDA from 45% to 75%. They're all, the consent order, like I said, I received it. I wanted to mention it to you tonight. I'll email it out tomorrow. So, if there's any questions prior to the next meeting, there's plenty of time to review it. Basically, what it steps out is it's KDHE and us recognizing that, yes, we have had multiple bypasses, which we have. And here's kind of a timeline of working to control all of that. It's the same timeline. It was developed by our engineers. It's the same timeline, and it was presented by our engineers in the preliminary engineering report. It's nothing that hasn't been, as far as what will get fixed is nothing new or outside the scope that's already been presented. Really, the benefit is the grant and the lower interest rate savings. But I just want to let you know that I received that. I'll send it out tomorrow. for everybody to review and any questions. Last thing.
Sounds like there should be a downside to that.
I know, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I mean, it's KDH, it's basically it's KDHE saying, or the city saying, yes, we will fix it. With the last consent order we were under, it was the same. And it's not a hard line. I mean, even the last one, things got set back. KDHE, I think there was an amendment saying, okay, you've got this part done. This might have been a little too aggressive. We'll move it back a year but really it's just a commitment from the city to KDHE that the problems in our sewer system are going to be fixed. The benefit is lower interest rate and higher grant to do so.
You need a motion on that?
No, I'm just letting you know,
Okay,
letting everybody
that's
know.
good.
I'll send it out first thing in the morning. Last thing, we've talked in the past about the ARPA funds, setting up a work session. I'd like to set that work session up for the next meeting, October 11th, where the departments, have their list, and we'll get that out to you before the meeting, before the work session. But have their list of things and kind of look at what's allowed, what's not within ARPA.
Well, as long as it's all legal.
Right.
Yeah, make sure of that. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't go just anywhere. So
Would we need a motion to set the work session? Following the regular meeting for October 11th. Okay.
I'll make a motion that we have a work session October 11th, following the regular city commission meeting
To consider.
to
use
consider use of ARPA
funds.
funds,
ARPA.
ARPA.
Second.
motion been made and seconded. Any other comments? No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
Is that covered?
Yeah. That's all I have unless there's questions. Thank you.
Tonight, I can't hardly talk now, so. So Brian,
I'm good.
Evan's not here. Becky,
I have nothing.
Dave,
I move we adjourn.
The second.
second adjourned. No other comments, we'll vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carried.
I heard today that he got moved to a rehabilitation wing